Hello everybody, it's Josie here. I'm going to be doing a kind of a specific trope style recommendations video today. So one of my favorite tropes in the world is female friendships, and particularly quite complicated, slightly messed up female friendships. Not necessarily the kind of cutesy kind, if that makes sense. But I just love that intensity. I think that kind of almost passion that you really, I feel like, only get between kind of female friends and friendship groups, and the idea of supporting each other, tearing each other down, when friendship maybe turns into something a bit more, all of that. I love those kind of books. It's very much my jam. So I've got a few here that I would recommend that are some of my favorite reads. And if you like that sort of thing, stick around and I will tell you about these books. So the first one, this one is probably pretty well known. This is The Girls by Emma Cline. So another thing that I'm really fascinated with is Charles Manson and the Manson murders. And for those of you that aren't familiar, Charles Manson ran like a doomsday cult in America in the late 60s, early 70s. And it was, it got really bad. Charles Manson ended up being jailed for murder with a few of his female acolytes because he sort of drove them to kill. So it is a really fascinating story. I find it fascinating. I find cults fascinating anyway. So I was always going to pick this up. But what this book is so amazing about, so you've got Evie, who is set in 1969, and she sees these girls, these kind of wild, feral-looking girls, and she's fascinated by them, and she follows them back to this ranch, which is the Manson Ranch. And then you have Suzanne, who she becomes really captivated with, and I think slightly in love with, and you see this kind of spiraling, how this kind of really good girl, suburban girl, gets involved with this Manson family, with these girls, and what happens as a consequence of that. And it is gorgeous. I love this book. It's one of my favorites, and I would highly recommend. Also, like I said, if you're into the Manson murders, it's really good. This one as well, I just love this. So this is The Animators by Kayla Ray Whitaker. Now, this one I just picked up randomly, I think it was last year. It was on a table. I really like the cover. I really like a bit of a slightly butch lesbian girl in the cover. That doesn't happen much. But so this one really caught me off guard in many ways. So it is essentially about this friendship between Mel and Sharon. And they are, so it kind of tracks them through their lives. So they meet at university. That's called The Animators because they both do illustration and animation, and that's what they're studying. And they become friends. They then become colleagues, and they work on animation projects together. And it's this exploration again of this amazing friendship between these two girls, of the different kind of emotional impacts of secrets of families, of supporting people. There's things in here that absolutely made me cry. I won't tell you, I won't give it away, because the twists and turns in the story that took me by surprise. It's not sort of a fast-paced thrillery kind of thing. It is very much about this friendship between these two women, and like I said, it tracks them through their lives and through their experiences, and you get kind of both of their voices, and it's so very good. And it also has a queer element. So Mel is gay, so if you like that, that's in there as well. But it is a gorgeously written book, and it's a beautiful exploration of friendship. Love this book. These are kind of all my 5 stories. So then you've got this one here, Marlena. Now Marlena actually reminds me a lot of the girls. So you've got Kat, who is kind of a new girl in town, and she's quite lonely, doesn't have any friends. And then she meets her neighbor. I'm just trying to remember Marlena. Her neighbor is Marlena, and she is quite wild. So you've kind of, again, got that dynamic of the good girl, bad girl scenario. And what I loved about this book is it's actually told from years later. So they had this really intense summer when they were kids, or teenagers, together. And Kat is kind of relating back what happened. And there's sort of a mystery element in this one as well. But again, it's about that idea of the friendship, the intensity, what that can make you do almost. It is a gorgeous exploration of female friendship again, and again that really capturing all of that emotion and intensity when you're young, and how that comes out and gets expressed. I love this one. Then this is a really recent read, and again, this was probably really well known. This is The Burning by Laura Bates. I wanted to include this because I love the aspect. So this is about Anna, who had to leave her school in her town because she had sent a naked picture of herself to her boyfriend, which he then put online, revenge porn. And her mom kind of moves her to a new school, new town to get away from all of that. And again, it's about female friendships in the sense that in her old school, you know, her friends, once the scandal broke out, kind of almost disowned her, and how that makes her feel, you know, the idea of being lonely, finding new friends, finding people that accept you for who you are, that don't judge you. And I love that. And it's about girls supporting girls, which I love as well. And it really raises a lot of those questions, you know, do we support each other? There's so much tearing you down. Why not support each other? Fabulous book. Highly recommend this one. Then the next one is this one over here. This is Beautiful Broken Things. It's really shiny. Do love that cover. I have a thing for shiny covers. So this one, I'll admit, I poked this one up in a charity shop because it just sounded like something that I might like, and it's actually set in Brighton. I live in Brighton, which is quite cool when you read books from where you are or set where you're living. But this one follows Caddy. So she is, she's kind of very, very quiet, very introverted. She's got this thing where she's like, nothing interesting ever happens to me. I'm really boring. And then she meets, I think it's Suzanne as well. Yeah, Suzanne. And Suzanne is the exact opposite. Suzanne is wild and crazy. And the two of them kind of form this friendship. And Caddy goes a little bit off the rails under the influence of Suzanne, and things happen, and there's consequences. And again, it's that, you know, what do you do for acceptance? How can friends influence you? What are the consequences of those actions? And also in terms of what are people hiding? Like what you see, that facade, that idea of, oh my God, here's this incredible, fun, crazy, wonderful person. They must have their life all sorted out. That's not necessarily always the case. And I think it's quite pertinent in sort of the kind of the Instagram, Facebook kind of culture we live in, is that you see an image that people want to portray, and that's not necessarily always what's going on inside. So yeah, it's really beautiful. That's another one that took me by surprise. I didn't think I'd like it as much. The next one is The Nowhere Girls. This is by Amy Reed. This book is hard to read at times. So this book focuses in on a new girl, Grace. She's just moved into this town. She's moved into a new house. And the house she's moved into, it turns out that the previous girl that lived there, she had to leave the town because she had accused some boys of rape, some of the school boys, the football team boys, and no one believed her. And it is this thing about rape culture, about, you know, the fact that girls are still not believed, that you are blamed for how you look, how you dress, how you behave. And this book it'll make you cry. It really is, you know, it's that exploration of how women feel inside, how girls feel inside, what it feels like from different walks of life. There's these great passages where you have one girl thinking one thing, and then you'll have another girl across town in a completely different, you know, environment or socioeconomic environment thinking something, and how certain events affect her. And there are points in here where they're trying to fight back, and they're trying to come together and really change this kind of rape culture in their school, but they're really coming up against a lot of barriers, and a lot of the administration don't want them to fight back, don't want to sort of rock the boat. It's okay, just keep quiet, it'll be fine. And it's not. And this is, it's great. It explores how you can support each other and how you can tear each other down as well. And also looks at different aspects of sexuality. It's just a brilliant book. And I so recommend this. Like I said, in places really not the easiest book to read. So if you're triggered by sexual violence, sexual assault and rape, then it may not be for you. But I do think if you can handle it, it is so very good, and so important as well, a bit like The Burning by Laura Bates as well. Then the next one I've got here is Girls on Fire by Robin Wasserman. Now, this was another one that I kind of bought, I don't even know how I bought, like on a whim, or I sort of read, girl friendship, and I bought it. And oh my God, did it take me by surprise. This is one of my all-time favorite reads. So you've got Hannah, who again is she's a bit of a nobody. She gets teased a lot at school. She used to be friends with kind of the golden girl, and they sort of fell out as they got a little bit older. And she's really just seen as this geeky nerd who everybody picks on at school. And then a new girl comes to school, Lacey, and Lacey has this kind of mysterious, powerful quality to her. And Hannah and Lacey become friends. And there's a mystery element of this, that the golden girl, I think her name is Heather, Nikki, sorry. Nikki's the golden girl that Hannah used to be friends with. Her boyfriend died the previous year, and there's sort of a mystery surrounding that. And at the center, you've got Lacey and Hannah's kind of burgeoning and developing friendship. And again, the two very different characters. So that kind of good girl character versus the stereotypical bad girl character. But this book, it goes dark, and it just goes somewhere where I hadn't expected it to go. It's phenomenal. If you like sort of darker edge on it, it is phenomenal. And again, that exploration of how far will you go for friendship? How far will you go for acceptance? What are you hiding inside? What are you portraying? And what is the reality that's going on? So secrets and lies, and just so good. You can see look how many tabs I've. It is so good. It is really good. Then the last one I've got here is Polina and Friends. So I love this book because isn't that a spectacular cover? And I think I actually bought this at the Royal Academy in London. I sort of picked it up in their bookstore. And it's about two friends, Polina and Fran, who are at a kind of a liberal arts college. And they meet and they become friends. And again, they're sort of different people. And then they go on a trip together, like on a school kind of trip. And as with these other ones, it is about this idea of how the people you're with affect you, what you will do to fit in, how relationships can sometimes, or friendships can sometimes turn toxic, the idea that friends can build you up and drag you down. It's crazy and wild. It's in the art scene, so if you like that kind of arts college vibe, not many books. So a lot of these books, most of those books are going to be set in high school, except for the animators. But I think all of the others are more high school, whereas this is college, which is nice. I really think we need more kind of college setting or university setting books. But yeah, I love this. It's great. It's fantastic. I would absolutely recommend this one as well. So anyway, that is my list of books. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any recommendations kind of based on that you think that I should read or that you've enjoyed. So I will speak to you all again very soon. Bye-bye.